Hey guys, this is Shane. Welcome to my Curator of the Lost channel, and today I'm recapping how much I've sold on Amazon and how much profit I've made on Amazon selling books in 1 year. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know, and if you're new, I'll tell you, I'm an old school eBay seller. I've done eBay for over 20 years, collecting books, selling books, funding my hobby, getting into resale. And in the last year, it was actually in May of 2022, I took the plunge, got something set up on Amazon, started sending books into Amazon to do fulfilled by Amazon. And the whole thing was to try to have a different sales channel, which I think is always good to diversify risk in your sales channels, no matter what kind of e-commerce business you're in, but especially reselling, books or whatever it is you're selling. But then the other thing was to have a sales channel where it could offload some shipping things for me. So I kind of got into it in May. Actually, my first sold item at the end of May 2022. Here we are, the 1st of June 2023. So I've been selling a year. So let's recap the results, and then I'll give you a little things that I found. I kind of just from an eBay seller perspective, and if you're thinking about getting into Amazon, just some ideas, things that I've observed and kind of just in the recap of the year. So in the last year, I have sold, I'm going to pop up some of my screenshots so you can see things. I've sold 360 books in the last year. And, I'll go here to say that there are times when I was probably getting a 250, 280 book inventory. I'm down to like 120 book inventory. I've just had a lot going on with my day job, and I've got a bunch of books I need to send into Amazon, but I've been really kind of slack in the last couple of months on getting new inventory in, and so my sales have been going down. Also, I've had some aging inventory that I'll talk about that I've had to cull out. So I'm down to about 110, 120 books, but at one point I think I had 300, so I haven't gotten thousands of books built up. I've just been kind of doing this in parallel with my eBay selling. And on eBay, for contrast, I'll typically run somewhere, but around 600, between 500 and 700 books on eBay. So, I've probably only had like 30 or 40% of my stuff that I had on eBay. So in the last year, I sold 360 books for a sales total of $10,280. Just under $10,300 on 360 books. So if you do that math, that was an average sales price of $28.55. So $28.50 average sale price. So on that average, again, I had some books that sold for $200, some books that sold for $20, but the average was $28.50 for roughly $10,300 worth of sales. Now, where the rubber meets the road, what came to me, if you look at disbursements into my account, $5,268 in my account. So I retained 51% of my total sales. That's after, all the FBA fees, the shipping fees, the shipping of the boxes to UPS, all the fees, 51%. And so, if I'm buying things at 50 cents or $1 per book. So if you take my cost of goods in there, I'm basically retaining about, 50% of my profits. It's like a 2-for-1, right? You're retaining about 50%. I think from what I've heard from other resellers for books, that's a pretty good metric if you're thinking about getting into Amazon. I think that's a pretty healthy, pretty expected average metric if you're selling books, that you're going to retain about 50% after it's all said and done, about 50% of your sales. And I'm selling things at an average of $28.50 each. So that's it. I'm selling eBay, and for me, having another sales channel has worked out good because I don't have to worry about the shipping since I'm doing FBA fulfilled by Amazon. And that's what I want. There are some things that if I think, well, this would probably be better merchant fulfilled on Amazon, I'm still selling those on eBay just because that's how I want to do it for me and my workflow. So just to ship boxes in and let Amazon handle it and have that as a separate sales channel and put another $5,000 in my pocket in a year, that's pretty good. And, it's like I said, I would recommend for you, if you are only selling on one channel, to look at other sales channels, right? Just the way you have multiple sourcing channels to get inventory, you need to be looking at multiple sales channels, because if something happens with eBay or something happens with Amazon, you want to be able to pivot and go to the other one and be ready, okay? A few other things. Out of those 360 books, I've only gotten 10 reviews. I've got a 5-star rating, but I've got 10 reviews with a 5-star rating. I will say that over the course of the year, you know, the aging inventories changed, the cubic spacing metric is there, you know, that can restrict you. But for the number of books I'm sending in, none of the restrictions have hit me. I think that, you know, if I, you know, had 1,000 or 2,000 books there, I know other sellers that have that problem, it would hit, but I haven't had to worry about that. You know, over the year, a few things that are frustrating with Amazon. You know, I think some of the returns where people return books, I've had a few of those, and they say they're damaged, and it's just a total loss. It's kind of a pain, you know, that happens. And I will say and it's probably worth another concerted video, but this aging inventory thing, it's making me look at my inventory more. And when you get to like 180 days, and they're starting to charge you that you know, extra 15 cents a book, 30 cents a book, or whatever, and it adds up, I'm starting to, if something's set there 90 days and hasn't sold, I'm really heavily discounting it to go ahead and move it. And, you know, what I found is that these removal fees range anywhere from about 90 cents to about $2.50 per book. So my profits to date include things that I've had to remove because, you know, I'm getting to that, some that was 180 or 270 days. I've been sitting there 9 months. And it's made me consider, you know, what a lot of Amazon sellers have said. You know, if you got a real high e-score or a real high, you know, Amazon book score, it's better to either sell that on eBay or on a merchant fulfilled. You know, even though it can sell at the right price, you can get lucky and be that one. You know, if it's not selling in 6 months on Amazon, it's a super thin market, or you got it totally priced wrong or something, right? So anyway, I think that'd be another good topic. But for me, it's been a net positive. I will say that Amazon's e-commerce site to me is still, you know, their workflow is really easy to send books in, but there's so much information on their site, it can be a little overwhelming. But for me to get in, I recommend anybody just do it, to have another sales channel. For me, I made an extra $5,000, right at $5,300, retaining 50% of my profits, and average sales price of $28.50, and it's working. You know, I put them in boxes, I send them in, I let Amazon handle the shipping, and any returns, just let them handle it. And for me and my augmenting my eBay store, it's been good for me. So I'm gonna keep doing it, and you know, I need to just build that inventory up. And I will say that the scalability of Amazon is there. You know, of course, you'll get hit by those inventory and, you know, some of those limits as you scale up. But really, this pricing model, you make $28.50. I think the amount that you can make is all just how many books you can find, good books you can find and send in. It's completely scalable. You know, I think if I had 3,000 books of the types of books I sell, that'd be, you know, 10 times the number of, you know, books I've been sending in. I think I would have had $50,000 worth of sales. I think it's completely scalable, you know, assuming I'm finding the same amount of books, but you have to find the quantity of the quality books, right? It's the quantity and quality. So it's worked for me. Again, an extra $5,000 in my pocket for incremental effort, the way I can ship them and let FBA handle it. I'm gonna call it a win for me. Look into it, and remember, see cool, buy cool, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.